Okay, the GuardPointPro time and attendance module. If I click on modules, time and attendance. There's two basic reports we do. Is either we calculate the total hours between the first passed transaction of the day and the last passed transaction of the day, and we can filter that by readers and the names and the departments. You could think of a department as a company or a contractor if you want, or we can set up specific readers as a clock in and a clock out reader, so an entrance and an exit reader. I've created two readers, one as an entrance, one as an exit. So I'm going to tick that. You can choose the date range. You can be any date range. I've got some transactions for today and yesterday, and if I click preview and expand this, you can see my two contractors, BAM and Sensor. You can see Bill and Ted. They've came in. Ted's gone out, but sorry, Ted hasn't gone out. Bill's gone out. Test has been in yesterday and today, and Dave and Robert from Sensor. They've both accumulated some hours, and you can see their total hours for the date range that I've selected, yesterday and today. He's done 9 hours over these last days. He's done 9 hours and 5 minutes, and then the total department has done 18 for Sensor, and then for BAM they've done a total hours of 10 hours and 15 minutes. For whoever you've chosen to be in your report, it'll also give you a grand total for everything on the report, so that's 28 hours there. You may see there's some transactions here with stars. These are where I've manually added them in, so I could, say for Ted, he hasn't done an exit time, and if this was the end of the day he might have not bothered to swipe out, so I can add that in for him by clicking on add and then updating his transaction here. So that's the kind of the basic time attendance report there, which gives you the total hours per department. To kind of customize GuardPointPro a bit more, we can add some custom fields. So if I just have a look at here, custom fields. These fields can be text fields, dates, boolean, so you know, on or off, yes or no, and a number field. We can kind of make them into combo drop-down menus, or you know, different types of fields. So I've got these custom fields appearing in my card holder window here. I've made one called First Aider, Apprentice and Mileage. So one of the requirements we've had before is they wanted to tick who is apprentices, and then they wanted to see either you know, how many apprentices are on site at the moment, or how many apprentices have been on site in the last 12 hours. So I've quickly made a report here, and this will show me who's got a transaction that's been happened within the last 12 hours and who are also apprentices. So I've got a list of apprentices here. We can also for instance do accounts, also statistics, if you'd like to say. So if I wanted to know how many, say, first aiders have been on, who are on site at the moment, let's say, so I go to statistics. So to do that, I would need to know, I need the last past date. Let's choose my custom field here, a first aider, and I've got this count field that gives me the total number. So to assume that they're on site, their last transaction must have been an entrance, so we'll add that. If I had a date, I could, you know, you know, obviously filter it with the date a little bit, and they need to be a first aider, so true. If I had, for instance, mileage, because that's a number field, I could say greater than or less than, so I could run a report, okay, saying how many people are on site who have travelled less than 100 miles today. Again, we're taking this value from just a you know, a free field in our database. That value if you wanted that dynamically updated, you would need to pull that value from somewhere, so pull it from somebody else's database. So let's go on the next page here, and let's click finish. So I've got my counter saying that I've got two first aiders on site whose last transaction was past the entrance. If I wanted their names, I would need to add the name field in. So if I go back and add the name of those, we'll find out who those people are. So yeah, they're a first aider and their last pass was an entrance, and we'll finish that. And there we go, they're the two people, are Bill and Ted, and they're the people who I have on site at the moment who are first aiders. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what can be done in GuardPointPro. I mean, if you were going to pull data in from another database, and that database needs to be ODB compliant, so we make a link to that database, and then you'd write your statement to say, grab this data from this table, from this field in their HR database, and pull it in and stick it in our database, you know, under the relevant field name in our database. And that could be run on a schedule, so it could be triggered by something, an input, or it could be just run, say, every hour automatically, or every sort of midnight every day. So I hope that gives you a little bit of idea, and it gives you an idea of